Super Cruise Overdrive. What I call going plaid. Basically, Super Cruise Overdrive is where it does exactly what's on the tin. Your Super Cruise, your frame shift drive overcharges and you go flying at incredible speeds. The normal maximum speed that you can fly at in Super Cruise is 2000 C. So you notice my speed there. The highest that will go is 2000 C, or 2000 times the speed of light. In Super Cruise Overdrive, that cranks up anywhere from 4 to 7,000 C. So you're flying much, much faster. So, Mandalay, Super Cruise Overdrive, go. So notice the speed's going up much faster than than if I was to normally, throttle lock. Dragon, it's a video game. That's how they explain it. Alright, so there we go. Maxed out 4200 C. That's the fastest the Mandalay. Well, the Mandalay has god-tier fuel consumption. Because as you can see, the Mandalay is just sipping fuel instead of guzzling it. Yeah, Lomiro, not the Mandalay. Notice the fuel consumption on the Mandalay. I can literally fly 1.6 million light seconds before it drops me out. So the Mandalay's fuel consumption is god tier. However, it is not the fastest in Super Cruise Overdrive. So, let us go back to the fleet carrier and I'll jump into my Cobra and show you what the Cobra does in Super Cruise Overdrive. Let us go fast. Why can't you do what, Angel Girl? What can't you do? Okay, Angel Girl, there's a reason. The Python Mark II. Oh, because Angel Girl, you have to buy an actual SCO frame shift drive. I will show you. You probably have just a regular frame shift drive. You need to actually purchase an SCO frame. You have the SCO? So to engage the SCO, just hit your boost button. Just hit your boost button to engage the Super Cruise Overdrive. That's how you turn it on and off, is the boost button. That's what turns Super Cruise Overdrive on and off. That's a very key thing to remember. Ah, yes, Angel Girl. That's what I was going to get to that. SCO drives run very hot. They do. However, for ships like the Python, so there are 4 ships that were made specifically for the SCO frame shift drives. Okay, all of the old school ships, when you use the SCO, yes, they get hot. That is a normal feature of the SCO frame shift drive. The Python Mark II, the Type 8, the Mandalay, and the Cobra Mark V were all designed with the SCO frame shift drives in mind. They were purpose-built to use the SCO frame shift drives. So, not only are they more stable in SCO, but they don't get hot when using the SCO. Now, they still slurp fuel like crazy, except the Mandalay. The Mandalay's fuel consumption for SCO is god tier. That's why the fuel rats use the Mandalay, because when it comes to doing a rescue, we can use the SCO drive to get to clients much faster. especially if they are at longer distance away from us on the rescue, is because the Mandalay's fuel consumption is so good in Super Cruise Overdrive. It's pretty much become the gold standard for the fuel rats. This ship, the Mandalay, has become the gold standard. It has the best jump range. It is the best fuel consumption in SCO. And while the speed of the SCO drive is not as good as others, it is more than adequate for go fast. J10, the T8 can get hot. I can't remember if mine did or not. I'm gonna have to test it. I cannot recall if I had an issue with heat. I don't think I did, but I could be mistaken. I will test. I'm pretty sure the Cobra did not. I'm almost certain that the Cobra did not get hot when I was testing when it first came out and I tested it. But we'll test each of them. And I can show you I can show you the ASP. I can use my old ASP and show you what happens in an older ship that is using SCO. Tornado, are you talking about like when you jump into a system, you go right into a star? Is that what you're talking about? Because that might happen if you do not have Super Cruise Assist and you come out of a hyperspace jump and you're at full throttle, because you'll keep going. So yeah, if you have Super Cruise Assist, you can have hyperspace dethrottle, which is right here. No, sorry. Where is hyperspace dethrottle? Is I'm trying to remember where it was. Here we go. Hyperspace dethrottle. So if you have hyperspace dethrottle on, when you come out of Super Cruise, you will automatically zero out your throttle. So if you don't have Super Cruise Assist though, when you come out of hyperspace, you will be at full throttle. Come on. The hell? There we go. It's a little sticky sometimes. I cannot, Leo. The closest, one of these days, where maybe I will make a trip to Sagittarius A. I'm not sure what the closest black hole is to here. The black hole in Elite Dangerous honestly doesn't look anything special. That's one thing that they really didn't do much with is black holes in Elite just look like a visual distortion, and you might gain a little bit of heat when you run into them. That's it. They don't really do much with black holes in this game. You will not drop out of hyperspace inside the exclusion zone of a star, unless it's a game mode, which can happen. But a normal hyperspace jump will not drop you into the exclusion zone of a star. Yeah, I think we're not Instance Angel, which unfortunately happens quite a bit. Instancing is a problem. Alright, so let me jump in the ASP real quick. I should have a spare SCO drive that I can use. Yeah. Oh shoot, I have to dump cargo. Hang on a second. Oh, what's that? Oh. It was in the wrong one. There we go. Okay. So, let's grab the old ASP. This is my former ratchet, Jack. Just, the ratchet now holds still. So, let's see if I have a spare SCO drive I can slap in here. There we go. Any old SCO. I don't even need it, engineer. Because I'm just going to show you what it looks like doing SCO in an ASP on a ship that is not designed for it. Cobra Mark V.
Landing gear
Alright. No, Ragat, no, because the Fuel Rats is a completely volunteer organization, so there's no clock in, clock out.
Cheer 100 Embers Sexy ask for the win.
Thank you, Blomio. Thank you. No, there's no clock in, clock out. It's you just pop into the IRC channel, and if a case comes up and you want to jump on it, you call jumps for the case, and that's it. No clock in, no clock out. You just solely volunteer. Hi, Tysel. Alright, so let us do it. Let's get into Super Cruise. Now, I'm gonna try and shift a little bit so you can still see me. Good. Okay. Now, chat, I want you to pay attention. Okay? Pay attention to two things. Pay attention to my heat on the left side of the radar there, and pay attention to my fuel right here on the right. Okay? Tysel, I'm liking it very much. I am liking it very much. Alright, ready? Let's throttle up. Now, pay attention to the heat and the fuel. And here, and three things. Heat, fuel, and look at how much I go rocking around.
Warning, frameshift drive operating beyond safety limits.
Look at my heat, and look at how much I'm rocking and rolling around.
Warning, taking heat damage.
So, you saw how much heat I took, and you see, look at how quickly my fuel is drained. Just off that little bit, and we have only flown 22,000 light seconds. 22,000 light seconds from my carrier. I've already lost that much fuel, and you saw how high my temperature got. This is, that's because the ASP was not designed to work with SCO's frameshift drives efficiently. Now, Destar? Probably not even. I don't think my Mandalay would have used that much fuel for 250,000 light years. So that's the difference. In ships that are not designed to work well with the SCO drives, you will use a lot more fuel, and you will heat up very quickly. I have to remember where did I put my heat sinks? Hang on. I have to remember what... Oh, that's right. I remember where I put my heat sinks now. Silly me. Alright. So, let's do this again. You can see how much I rock and roll around here. Look at my heat. Look at my fuel usage, and look at how much I'm rocking around. So I just popped the heat sink, but look at how much I'm rocking around. Look at that. I have very little control.
Heat sink deployed.
Let's kill it before I lose too much fuel. So that's what it's like trying to fly a ship that is not designed to use an SCO drive, which is the majority of ships. The majority of ships in Elite Dangerous are not designed to use Super Cruise Overdrive. They are just kind of like, okay, I want to try and give myself a little boost and get myself going a little fast, but they're not designed for it. And they will rock and roll all over the place. Well, Angel, the 4 new ships are. You can see the Mandalay. My Mandalay is very good in terms of maneuverability and for fuel usage. The Mandalay is fantastic for fuel usage. But look at how much my fuel has gone. Look at that. Look at how much my fuel use is gone. Look at how much my fuel's gone. And no, that Revan, they probably won't rework it. I don't think they will. I think they're going to have those 4 ships be SCO ships, and any new ships that come out will probably be SCO ships too. I do think any new ships they come out with will be optimized for SCO as well. I was considering it machinist. Actually, I was considering calling it just calling it, we're doing it live. That's what I was thinking about calling it. Now, let me get back to the ship, and I'm going to show you how each of the other SCO specialized ships handles SCO. Because they do very well in terms of... They do very well in terms of handling SCO and heat, but not fuel. That's one of the problems.
Warning.
Let's give this a little boost.
Operating beyond safety limits.
Fuel reserves at 25%. Oh goodness. Goodness me. No, I'm fine, Angel. 25% is more than enough to get me back to the carrier. I could probably fly a couple 100,000 light years on that little bit of fuel in my ass. That 25% is good for a couple 100,000 light seconds. I'm fine. Thank you, though. Light seconds, Desar, not light years. Couple 100,000 light seconds. Ah, it's E10. Naughty, naughty. Actually, more than a few rescues that I've done have been because people have accidentally engaged the Super Cruise overdrive and shot, 100,000 light seconds away and didn't know how to turn it off, and they end up with no fuel in the tank by the time they got tipped out of Super Cruise. Romeo? What's wrong with that quote? A long way down the road to the chemist would not even be in existence to space. Super cruising into a star would basically be the same thing. SCOing into a star? Number one, very difficult. It's actually incredibly difficult to do because when you are in Super Cruise overdrive, even in a ship optimized for it, you're still rocking and rolling. Even in a ship optimized for SCO. So keeping on target with a star when you SCO into it is actually very difficult to do. If you did manage to... Oh, I don't have the computer on this. Even if you did manage to SCO into a star, it would basically be the same as if you just flew into it in Super Cruise. You get yanked out, you get emergency stop, you get yanked out of Super Cruise, and that'd be that. I missed.
Landing gear deployed.
I bumped.
Taking damage.
Whoops. Yeah, I did steal my landing computer from the Mandy. It's hard to get used to doing this without TAS. Usually that part's hard with the HOTAS. I haven't had to manually land with the HOTAS. I'm not used to doing that. That's why I usually use a computer. Alright. So, now, let's do that with the Python Mark II. So, now I'll show you the Super Cruise in a Python Mark II.
Released. The launch underway.
And you'll notice a difference in... Okay, Angel. So you'll probably notice a difference in, compared to the Asp, you're gonna notice a difference in the movement of the ship and the heat. Okay, because you remember how quickly the heat rose and how quickly the fuel went down. So, let's go. So heat's still going up. But you notice the fuel is not going down quite as quickly. And the heat is also not going up as quickly either. So the Python is more fuel efficient and heat efficient than most of the others. Pop a heatsink really quick. Yeah, and the handling is better because the Python was actually designed for Super Cruise Overdrive. The Python was the first ship designed for Super Cruise Overdrive. Yeah, let's see, how far are we from the... So we're 125,000 light seconds. Granted, I did use more fuel. I did use more fuel for this. So yeah, the Python Mark II came out just not long after the Thargoid invasion. Very shortly after the Thargoid invasion is when Frontier released the Python Mark II and the Super Cruise Overdrive frameshift drives. And the Python Mark II was actually released with the Super Cruise Overdrive in mind. Thank you, kitten. Thank you for the prime. So that's the thing with the Python Mark II. It was released specifically to be a new combat ship that worked well with the Super Cruise, with the SCO frameshift drives. It handled better in Super Cruise Overdrive. It mitigated the heat better, and the fuel consumption was not as bad as every other ship. So yeah, that's the Python Mark II. And every ship that Frontier's released since the Python Mark II has been made with Super Cruise Overdrive in mind. Ooh. Ah, J10, because they're specifically trying to annoy you. Alright, let's do a little go fast here. Wait, the fuel consumption is still fast. Let's not make any mistake. The fuel consumption on this Python is still fast. For sure. But it's not as bad as any of the other ships. The other ships guzzle the fuel in Super Cruise Overdrive. Absolutely guzzle it. Kanito, it depends on the ship. It very much depends upon the ship. I suspect if you loaded up the Mandalay, so like I think someone actually did a test in I can't remember if it was the Cutter or oh, you mean just like Super Cruise? Like normal Super Cruise? I'll have to ask because the Fuel Rats actually did ram those numbers way back when we had to do when the Rats did Operation Beyond the Dark Edge, that actually had to get factored. They actually loaded up I think they used cutters. Oh, you mean on thrusters? Oh, if you're talking about on thrusters, you could probably go for a very long time. Okay? Because yeah, on thrusters you could go for a very long time, but you will not go very far. Bearing in mind, the maximum speed you can go on thrusters is like 800 meters per second. That's the maximum speed you can go. Maybe a little bit higher. Maybe close to 900. So you can fly around aimlessly for a long time. Because if you look to my right, if you look to the right here, you see this 2.06 per hour? That's my fuel consumption. My ship is consuming 2.06 tons of fuel per hour. Being in Super Cruise. In Super Cruise, with all of my modules fully active, I'm consuming 2.06 tons of fuel per hour. Now, wait till we drop out of Super Cruise. Okay, let me get in. We'll drop out of Super Cruise. Thank you, Angel, thank you for the tier 1. Desert, if you load it up with spare tanks, yes. Yes, if you load up the T8 with a ton of extra fuel tanks, yes, the T8 can do 100% Super Cruise Overdrive to Hutton Orbital. Absolutely, it can be done, yes. Same thing with the Mandalay. I would say, I haven't tested it, but I'm pretty sure if you load up all optional module spots with fuel tanks, the Mandalay could SCO all the way to Hutton. You want to just listen to some hip-hop and cruise around space? I mean, you can, Canito, but you're going to want to do it in Super Cruise, because you're not going to see anything if you just fly around on thrusters. That's not going to do anything. No, the Cobra probably can't. I don't think that you can load up enough fuel tanks for the Cobra to make the run to Hutton. The T8 you can because the T8 has got so many optional module spaces you can really load that thing up with extra fuel tanks. The Cobra doesn't. And the Mandalay just sips fuel so much that absolutely it can. Yeah. Alright.
Cheer 100 love your streams.
Thank you, Maxine. I love you being here. It could at 7,000. At 7,000 C? That's like one of the fastest. But I doubt it could. Because I did a test and the Cobra I think maxed out on its own tank. The Cobra maxed out I think at 1 million light seconds. Yeah. I think in SCO the Cobra maxed at about 1 million light seconds. The Mandalay on a full tank went 1.6 million. And I don't think the Cobra is going to have enough extra optimal module spaces to do it.
Welcome, Commander. Communications are open if you require docking access.
Oh. That's a new flaw. That's a new bug. Oh, thank you, Bobcat. Yeah, exactly, Destor. It's the Cobra would not be able to do the Hutton run. It simply just doesn't have enough extra module slots to load in fuel tanks. You just can't pack enough of them in there.
Landing gear deployed.
Alright. So that was the Python and its Super Cruise Overdrive. Now, let's look at the T8. The T8 improved upon what the Python could do.
How may we assist you?
So,
Landing gear retracted.
Ship has departed. Move clear of the landing pad.
by the way, for those that want to see what it looks like, this is the Type 8. That's the cockpit. Yes. Yes, I have a fine. I've probably whacked into something at another starport. If you, like, whack into something and you're going too fast, you'll catch a fine. Or whack into someone, something like that. No, I didn't. No, I didn't lose passengers. I think when I was exiting a station one time, I think I bumped someone and I was going over 100 meters per second. And so when you do that, you catch a fine. Alright. So, let's jump in. Yeah, it was a bump. Losing passengers won't catch you a fine. It's because the only passengers I would have taken in this is evacuations, and you won't get a fine for losing passengers to a third void. Alright, so, again, watch my heat and watch my fuel. Notice how this one's even more stable than the Python. Fuel consumption is still pretty quick. There's the heat.
Warning, temperature critical.
So you're still gaining heat pretty quick in the Type A. The fuel consumption, though, is not bad, because this has a larger tank.
Heat sink deployed.
Because you notice, the fuel consumption in the Type A, comparatively speaking, is not bad. And the stability on it, if you notice, the stability on it is quite good also.
Warning, temperature critical.
Oh, I'm very hot, chat.
Warning.
I'm
taking
so
heat
hot.
damage.
Right. Here we go. So that's about a quarter. And we went 217,000 light seconds away. Okay, Leo, have a good night. Yes, it does. Fuel consumption changes depending on what modules are active and how many modules you have, as well as any cargo you have. The more weight your ship has, the higher the fuel consumption will be, as well as reduction in jump range. Hi, Kevin. All right, let's go fast and get back to the carrier quicker.
Warning, temperature critical.
Now notice, the speed is also faster. Notice the speed. The T8 can fly at 4.5 C.
Heat sink deployed.
Whereas my Mandalay can only do 4.2, the T8 can do 4.5, almost 4.6. Now this also could be because I'm heading towards the neutron. It may be able to get up to 5C, perhaps?
Heat sink deployed.
Oh yeah, and no, in terms of, okay, no, yeah, in terms of Super Cruise Overdrive, no. The fuel heaviness changes nothing in Super Cruise Overdrive. I'm sorry, I thought you meant Super Cruise in general. I thought you were referring to Super Cruise in general. No, in Super Cruise Overdrive, your weight, your modules, none of that matters for fuel consumption. The Super Cruise Overdrive fuel consumption is static regardless of what you have on your ship and what's powered up. That, it makes no difference. I misunderstood what you were referring to there. And again, I'll show you something once I drop out of Super Cruise. So notice, in Super Cruise, I'm using 1.5. I forgot to point this out when I dropped out of Super Cruise with Python. Notice the fuel consumption is 1.52 tons per hour. Okay, so notice the fuel consumption on that. And when we drop out of Super Cruise, notice what the fuel consumption will be once we're out of Super Cruise. Yo, who that? Dirt Jar. Who is Dirt Jar? Who is Dirt Jar? Is that one of you guys? One of you guys, Dirt Jar? Okay. They actually gonna interdict me? No, they're just flying around. They're just flying around. Huh. No, I knew it wasn't you, Kanito. I think I actually saw my friends list. Okay, they jumped. I don't know what they were doing, but they jumped. Well, no, Kanito, I didn't see their ship name. I saw their commander name. Bobcat, an African or European swallow? Ha ha.
Adherence to the speed limit is appreciated.
Alright. Now, notice the fuel consumption. My fuel consumption out of Super Cruise is 0.83 tons per hour. So notice the difference in fuel consumption of being on thrusters versus in Super Cruise. Your fuel consumption is half as what it is in Super Cruise. And that's obviously there's plenty of wiggle room there depending upon your ship and what you're running. But that makes it so you're obviously using your frameshift drive, especially in Super Cruise, is using a lot of fuel. That's something to bear in mind. Yes, the speed is orders of magnitude slower. Of course, Death Star. That's a given. That is a given. Alright, and then we're going to do one last little test. Forgot to refuel.
Docking complete.
There we go.
Engaged.
And so now,
Docked. Command.
we'll do our Cobra. And I'll show you what the Cobra does. That'll give you the outside shot of Cobra.
Clamp is engaged. Move clear of the landing pad.
That's the Cobra. That's the new Cobra. This is the Cobra Mark V. Hey, pretty. Silver, there's not really classes. It's more of sizes. Ships in Elite are like small, medium, and large. Yes, there are classes like, okay, ships like the Cobra are considered general purpose. The Python Mark II, the Mamba, the FDL are considered combat ships, as are ships like the dropship and the gunship. Beluga, Orca, and Dolphin are considered passenger ships, but you can use them for anything. I used a Dolphin as my fuel rat ship for years until the Mandalay launched. When the Mandalay launched, obviously that became my standard rat ship because it's the best rat ship Frontier's ever made. Before then, I used a Dolphin as my standard rat ship because not only could I get decent jump range out of it, I was getting something like 58 light years per jump, but it ran ice cold, so I could charge my charge my frameshift drive while I was scooping fuel, and my heat would never go above 60. So you can use any ship for any purpose, they just do certain things better. Revan, I suspect it's going to be years now. I do think it's going to be years before they come out with another ship to surpass the Mandalay. Alright, so into Super Cruise we go. So, there's our stop it. I can do manual landings, it's just I haven't done it with my HOTAS. It's a whole different, the way I use my hands is completely different with the HOTAS than when I use the controller, that's why. The fine-tuned movement of landing, I just haven't gotten used to. Alright, now, again, watch my fuel consumption, watch my heat. Notice the fuel consumption is much better than the T8 or the Python Mark II, but it's not quite as good as the Mandalay's. It's still faster than the Mandalay's fuel consumption. Then look at my speed. Look at my speed. I can get 7,000 C for speed. So the Super Cruise Overdrive max speed is much faster than most other, because it's a small ship. Small ships get much faster speed in Super Cruise Overdrive. So, and of course it's riding fairly smoothly. Alright, that's about a quarter of a tank. So we'll stop. Yeah, and the fuel, it's okay. So let's see, how far are we from carrier? 280, about 290,000 light seconds from my carrier on 1/4 tank of fuel. So the fuel consumption is much better on the Cobra than the Type 8 or the Python Mark II. It's still not as good as the Mandalay's though, but it is quite good. And you get a higher speed. You get a higher Super Cruise Overdrive speed in the Cobra. And notice the temperature. I didn't have to pop a single heatsink the entire time. My heat was just fine in Super Cruise Overdrive. It's sitting pretty at about 53% heat. And bear in mind, I have not done much engineering with this Cobra. So it can handle heat from the Super Cruise Overdrive just as good as the Mandalay can. Because the Mandalay has no problem with heat either. Revan, no, because like I said, with the Mandalay, I never have to pop a heatsink in Super Cruise Overdrive. It runs cool in Super Cruise Overdrive. Too fast. Here we go. So look at that. And my fuel was only slightly below, it's only a little bit below the halfway mark. I'm probably at about, I'd say I'm probably at about 40-45% fuel. And yeah, heat sinks are cheap as hell. So yeah, that's the difference in the use of the SCO in various different ships. All the old ships prior to the Thargoid War will drain, the fuel absolutely drain, and the heat skyrockets. The heat still goes up in the Python and the T8, and the fuel drain is still bad, but you have better control. The Mandalay and the Cobra Mark V, the fuel consumption is much better, the control is much better, and your heat is fine. That's the difference with all of the ships and the new Super Cruise Overdrive.